All right, we are going to prep our background for our Cameo prints. You're going to need to take a 12-inch or longer ruler. You have your 12 by 16 paper, and we need to approximate where the middle is. So if I just kind of estimate, go corner to corner there, about corner to corner here. So this is our middle spot right there in the center. I don't know if you can see that. Right there in the center. We don't want this really dark because we are going to color over it with stuff. And with stuff, I mean we are going to use oil pastels. That's these guys. There's a couple different types, so you might get a mix match of these. You are going to take your colors and you are going to radiate them out from the center. So we're going to start, and you can start with any color. This is your color wheel. I suggest picking colors that blend nicely together, so don't choose the complementary colors. But I'm gonna start here with pink in the center, and I'm just gonna make like a little egg shape. And then I am pressing fairly hard. I'm gonna overlap a little bit of this purple to do my next loop. So you can see how it blends together a little bit. Continuing with these circular egg shapes. Maybe I want to move to blue this time. Again, I'm overlapping a little bit, making my nice little egg shape, and then it gets a little bit bigger. It's okay if there are some of these white spaces showing through. I'm going to show you guys how to fix that once we get the whole thing. Also, if you accidentally get a little bit where you don't want, just scrape it up a little bit with your finger, the edge of a pencil, whatever. Let's try green now. I can get a whole rainbow going if I wanted to. I could alternate back and forth between colors if I wanted to. Again, the color choice is up to you. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this movie magic when I'm ready for the next step. All right, so one thing you guys might notice is that I now have a sheet of paper underneath because this stuff is such a pain to get off of the tables. So please, please, please put paper underneath, and when you're going off the edges like you do in these corners, make sure you have paper underneath it. Just practice, scrap paper is fine. To get rid of all of the white spaces that we still see, you're gonna use a paper towel. Now, I'm at home, so I have like a real paper towel. You guys are gonna be at school, so you're gonna have the brown paper towels, which you might be like, oh man, the brown paper towels are awful. No, they're not. They're actually perfect for this. I'm gonna struggle, you're not gonna struggle, because yours will actually move it around better without absorbing it, which is what we want. But again, I'm in my kitchen right now, so I'm gonna make do with this. You're just gonna go in little circles, and as you move around in circles, you see it starts blending away, blending away all those little white spaces. It also smooths your colors together. Ugh. Again, I'm having to work a little bit harder because I don't have the good paper towels, but something like that. If you find that it made your color too dull, you can color back over it and add a little bit more if you need to. I'm going to movie magic this again so you don't have to watch me scrub at a piece of paper. I'll be back. All right, and we're back. Now, a couple of things. First off, you can see that I got some of the darker colors inside my lighter colors. I personally don't mind it, but you should normally start with the lighter colors when you're blending and then move towards the darker ones. The other thing, I ripped my paper. Before we panic, we just flip it over, put a piece of tape on the back. Again, masking tape would be better, but I don't have masking tape, so we're just gonna use clear tape. In class, we have masking tape. Ta-da, it's all fixed. This is the background of the background of, well, just the background, but you won't even see it. It'll be fine. You'll also notice, because I was rushing a little bit, my paper's a little crinkly now. Again, we're gonna put stuff on top of it. It's okay. For the next step, we're actually gonna put this aside. All right, now we're gonna do the printing part of this. So we're gonna have these plastic sheets that, they have a piece of paper behind them, that's why it's white, but it's actually a clear sheet. It has a grid on it. You're gonna take a piece of foam that I give you, put a little piece of tape on the back. Again, I'm using clear, you'll use masking tape. Line up your corners with your grid, like so. We have tape on the back so it doesn't move around on you. You're just gonna take a regular pencil, like a regular number 2 pencil, Mechanical pencils don't work as well, so try a regular wooden one. Oop, I still have some oil pastels around. You are now going to make circles that start on one of the lines. Well, they're really a quarter of a circle. You connect in these little arcs. See what I'm saying? So I'm connecting from one line here to that line there. I'm going to repeat this one. Maybe this one I want to have a jagged line. You can see I'm making short little strokes. I'm going back and forth. The goal is not to stab through the foam, just to make like little dents so you can clearly see your lines. You're going to continue going all the way across here. So maybe this next one, I'm going to do something like this and add a bump. As long as it starts and ends on those same dots, it'll be okay. So again, we're gonna movie magic this. Hey guys, guess what? I made a mistake. You guys need to have this 4" by 4" foam, not the 4" by 6" foam. I forgot a step, and I'm being lazy and I don't want to refilm the whole beginning of this video. Also, I forgot to bring a second sheet of foam home, so I can't if I wanted to. So I'm just gonna show you, like, hey, look, it's a 4 by 4. I totally did this from the beginning. What are you talking about? Yay! All right, so now what we're gonna do is take this piece of paper here, and you're going to fold it in half. And before everyone asks me, hamburger or hot dog, hamburger or hot dog, guess what, guys? It doesn't matter. You're actually gonna do both. Okay, just a light little crease. You don't need to like kill it. We do want it to lay flat eventually. But this gives us a nice little line so we can line up our foam piece when we're actually stamping it down here in the middle. So you're gonna go through and stamp this, going around and around and around to fill in that circle with your lovely design. I'm gonna show you how to do that, don't panic. Okay, hi, I'm back. Again, I am now using duct tape to set up my printing station. You will use masking tape, but this is all of the supplies that you will need at each table. So you're gonna have one of these tubs of white ink. If yours is like mine and been sitting for a little while, just give it a little stir and it'll, you know, reconstitute together. Sometimes the oils like to separate out. You need a glossy sheet of paper taped at the top and the bottom. You're gonna need a roller. It's called a brayer. It goes back and forth. You have your foam on a placemat to protect our tables. We will have to sponge up at the end, but this just helps make it less. You're gonna use this little popsicle stick to just scoop a little line right here. This line does not need to be any wider than this roller. We're not trying to cover this whole paper in ink. We're just trying to make like a little baby square about the size of our foam. So I'm gonna dip. So I get a whole bunch on my roller here, and then I'm gonna roll, lifting up each time. You can go up and down, I can go side to side. If I need more, I can pick up more. So I'm just rolling a little square here. Okay. You want it to kind of make a little sticky sound. I don't know that I have quite enough ink yet. There it is, that little baby sticky sound. It's a little squeaky, so I'm not sure you can hear it. But you're then gonna take this lovely foam here, and you're gonna cover the whole thing. Pick up more if you need. Make sure you get all the edges, all the corners. Now, if, carefully picking up by the edges, you look at this, you may not be able to see because it's white on white foam. However, it should be a little bit stipply, like it shouldn't be flat. And you don't want to fill in the lines that you have drawn. You still want to be able to see that there's lines there. You also want to print kind of quickly because this does start drying relatively fast. So we're going to move this over here to a clean paper. You're going to move to a clean part of your table. You're gonna line up the inside corner of your foam, that first curve that we did, with the inside edge of your paper. Line it up on those fold lines that we have, and just press it down. Okay, Okay, I bought you these special little rollers. You're just gonna go on top of here. Use your hand to just kind of roll. They should be exactly the same size as your piece of foam. Again, you can roll in 2 different directions. It's okay for this first one if you roll off the edges. Put that off to the side. Put that off to the side. And then you're gonna peel back your foam. And now all those lines that you drew are all the colors underneath, and you have your white print on top of it. Okay, you are gonna repeat this process, so we're gonna move that back out of the way. We're gonna put this guy back on here. You might need to pick up a little bit more ink, especially if you're sharing station, so you know, other people might have used it all up. You're gonna go right back on top. You don't have to wash this in between because we're using the same color, but you do have to wash it at the end of the day. We're gonna pick this up, pretend like we're moving to a clean part of our table. All right, and now again, this is where it gets a little tricky. This is the circle, like the middle of the circle. This has to line up with the part I already did. Stick it down. You should be able to still sort of see your lines through the back here to help you line that up. Now we're gonna go rollies again. This time be careful not to get it on the already wet part because we don't wanna have white smears everywhere. You can use your hand as well to help just kind of press down, especially on this edge here where it's close. We're trying to keep our fingers as clean as possible. It is white, you can see I have a little on mine. If you get a lot, please go wash them before you touch your final copy paper. And again, peel this guy back. Check us out. All right, put that off to the side. Guess what we're gonna do? The next one. I'm gonna movie magic it for a second so you don't have to watch me do the exact same steps like 5,000 times, but then we'll come back. All right, so now I've filled in the whole center part of my paper. You can see I have like 2 inches over here, 2 inches over here, and 4 inches down here. We're now gonna fill in the rest of the spots that we have to fill. So again, we're gonna roll out some more ink on this. Pick it up carefully. Go to a clean part of our table. And now, instead of lining it up with the center, I'm actually gonna rotate this. You can see what I mean when I pull it back up. So now I have one going the other direction. So now they're like flipped. So now we're gonna pretend the center of my circle's over here. I'm gonna do another one over here until I filled up my whole paper covered in these white patterns. Okay, again, movie magic, and then I'll be back. Okay, I wanted to show you real quick. I started with this middle section, then I did these 2 side pieces. Now I'm ready for these corners, and if you look, when you print, you get another little like center bit that all matches up when you put the outside corners all together as well. So I'm gonna finish doing that, and then you'll see the final product. All right, and this is what it should look like when we're all done. Now, is it perfectly printed? No, of course not. There's spots that I didn't get as well. There's bits where it's a little crooked. That's okay. It makes it unique and it makes it yours. You're gonna put this on the drying rack, and we're gonna do the very last step. All right, so now that we've finished the background, it's time to work on the actual you part of the cameo. Now I'm currently using my camera to film this, so I could not take a picture of me. So I printed out a picture from the interwebs of another person. You are going to turn it over to the back. You're going to turn your picture of you over to the back. You should still be able to kind of see, it's hard to see on here, but like you should be able to see where you are. You're going to shade with the side of a regular pencil all the way around the outside of your person. If you're not sure, lift it up, check the front, check the back, all the way out here. You're gonna keep shading all the way around. Where's your front? About here. It does not have to be precise. If your pencil gets dull like mine just did, you just sharpen it and keep going. You don't want to leave a lot of white space. You do want it to be fairly colored in. Like this won't work, it's too light, but if we go back over it, okay, something like this. When I go and I put this down on here, onto my black piece of paper, and I take my pencil and I trace around the outside, again, I'm going back and forth, really pressing nice and hard so that I can really see my line. If I peel this up, I don't know if you can see, but there's a faint little pencil line that's transferred the graphite from the back of the paper onto the black paper. So you're going to keep doing that. Go all the way around. This is the line that you're going to cut out for your silhouette. So you want to make sure that you get all of you very well. You don't want to have extra blobs or tumors. You really want to be careful to follow the edge. Otherwise, it's not going to look like you. Now, if you have some crazy stray hairs, like yes, you don't have to do every single one of those. If you had some little flyaways. It also means if you got a big zit on your chin, no one's ever gonna know. So something like that. If I take this away and we get up close, you can see now there's a nice little outline. You're gonna cut out with just your regular scissors that outline. Okay, and ta-da, I've cut it out. Now, a reminder, you don't have to cut all of these out as one big piece. Like I cut off little pieces as they got heavy and they were starting to pull my paper away. These go in the garbage. This is now our lovely little face. However, if you get real close, you can see there's maybe like a little bit of like pencil still showing because I didn't cut it exactly right. Do you know how we hide that pencil? Look, no pencil. It's amazing. So you're gonna actually glue on the same side that you did your pencil on. You can use the liquid glue or the glue stick. We're gonna try the glue stick to start. If that doesn't work, then we'll move on to like liquid glue. You're gonna glue all the way around the edges, a little bit in the center, and then that is going to get pasted onto at the bottom so that you like not chopping yourself off. You can even put yourself over in a corner. You could even be like, hey, I messed up this corner over here. I'm gonna put me over here to hide that. Look at that, it all works like together. So you can figure out where, like what corner you want to be positioned in going around. I mean, you could even go this direction and turn your whole paper so it's like this. That's an option. Up to you. Figure out how you want to position yours in the corner and go ahead and glue it down. And then you have finished this project.